All right, well, you're the host.
Am I?
Are we starting right now?
I didn't sign up for that. We'll get started. So this is going to be the first episode of the Casually Concerned podcast.
Love the title.
Love it?
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, we went through a few different name choices. We had some polls on.
What were the other options?
On Twitter. So basically, I think when it comes to podcasts, you got to be ironic. So
for sure, we
had a bunch of different oxymorons. So we had I think I can find the list actually. We had here they are. Unbiased opinion, which was the other contender. That was top two. And then a bunch of stupid stuff like a modern history, awfully good.
That's good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Casually Concerned definitely took a win in my heart, though.
The other option was Clearly Confused.
Yes.
Which would have been funny, but we ended up going with Casually Concerned. We had a Twitter poll and then Instagram poll.
That's right.
But anyways, why are you here? What are we going to be talking about? What is this? What's the plan for this stuff? And why are we doing it? So
absolutely.
Basically,
let's jump in.
Yeah, let's just hop right into things. Basically, this first podcast is just going to be kind of personal, I guess. It's going to be really... Oh, geez, my mic just kind of fell. It scared the crap out of me. Yeah. We're amateurs here, guys. It's got to get used to it.
It's my first time.
Basically, this podcast, this particular one, is going to be really personal. We're going to talk about things about our lives, I guess, that we really wouldn't share to the masses of people.
Only the subscribers.
Yeah, because if you guys are listening to this podcast, obviously you care a lot about me and the boys.
The boys.
And that means a lot. So I want to provide you guys value and content that is overwhelmingly good. So basically, yeah. So this podcast, it's going to kind of be a draw my life, but with words.
That. I haven't even done a draw my life yet. I was going to do that.
Yeah, those are so cool.
I'll do it by summer.
Yeah, for sure. I think people enjoy, kind of hearing a life story. But
absolutely.
Other than that, this podcast is literally going to be about everything running, money, maybe entrepreneurship, funny thing, anything that's trending. We're just going to go ahead and make topics one by one. So
no limits
at all. So you can kind of read the description of the podcast on the Patreon page. And the reason I'm doing Patreon is because I think it's a lot more direct in that people that want to support you can support you very easily. On YouTube, it's kind of difficult because I'll have to make another channel, and ads are so tough right now.
It's a tough situation out there right now.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the easiest way for you guys to support me, and also the easiest way for me to deliver value to you guys. Because if you see the different tiers, there's a lot of different perks of each tier, and
absolutely
you'll be able to benefit from that. So is your mic loud?
Is it loud? I've been waiting.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, no, it's solid.
Okay, we're looking at the sound waves right now.
I know I'm subscribed. I'm gonna definitely sign up for at least the 10 version. That's all I can afford right now.
You don't want that FaceTime?
I get enough FaceTime.
Yeah, you get enough of that. So yeah, I think we're just gonna honestly, if you're watching this, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Theo is really appreciative. You guys are one of the few that is, I don't know, I don't want to say interested in my life, but I know I'm going to provide so much value to you, so I'm glad you're here, honestly. Tell your friends about it if you enjoy it, and let's get started. So
heck yeah.
Basically, I think I'll go first. The reason I chose Theo here to be on this particular podcast,
the first one,
is because I think we can really resonate a lot with our life. I don't know.
Definitely.
I feel we both kind of been through a lot.
Definitely come from different backgrounds, but very similar in the same way.
Exactly, and it's
lessons and whatnot.
For sure. I think the ultimate goal of this podcast is just be evaluate our lives and kind of give you guys the lessons we learned, so you can kind of apply it to that.
Honestly, the best thing for me is going on to my cross country teams. I don't know if you guys are runners too, but asking the seniors questions that they wanted to know, that they've lived and learned the hard way. And trust me, I've learned a lot of things the hard way. So hopefully this helps somebody out. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, let's just get into it. So yeah, like I said, it's gonna be personal. So
get your tissue boxes out.
Get your tissue boxes. No, but we don't really want any pity. We're just sharing with you what our life is. So, okay, so my life, I think it's definitely not orthodox. I guess I'll just start at the beginning. That's how you do these, right?
Yep.
Okay, so
Birth.
So yeah, I was born one day.
Wow.
And it was pretty dope. But basically, I have a really small family, just to start things off. So when I was born, it was like my mom, my dad, my brother, my grandma, and my great-grandma on my dad's side. So basically, we were living in Sugar Land, which is kind of like outside of the Houston, Texas area. And we were living in like a mobile home. It wasn't anything special. It was pretty bad.
Right.
But I don't remember any of that. So basically, when I was like a year old, my mom had been like abusing drugs, and so basically my dad and my mom got divorced, and from then on it was like my dad and my grandma were raising me.
Right.
So I have no memory of this. And so around when I was like 4 years old, I didn't personally. Like, we all moved to a town called Eagle Lake.
Yeah.
And it was a really small town, and the reason we moved there is because my grandma had already moved there, and my dad, basically, he was working a lot more, and he wanted someone to like babysit us, kind of like raise us well. So
For sure.
we moved to
how many
Eagle
brothers
Lake.
you have?
Yeah, so I just have one brother, and he's 4 years older than me. He went to the University of Texas, and now he's living like outside of Houston and Katy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's I love that guy. I got some stories coming up for you. I'd say. So yeah, like I mean, I had a pretty fun childhood. Like, the thing is, when you're growing up, I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but like, you don't really know what you don't have, because it's just like all you know.
Definitely. And then whatever you do have, like growing up, if you have a lot, you don't know what you have, you know?
Exactly.
It's like what you don't have and what you do have, and I don't know, it's all like the social norm, and that's what you grow up as normal. And then once you experience other cultures and like other families, you're like, wow, you guys have that? Wow, you guys don't have that?
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
It's so crazy. Yeah, you're so like narrow-minded when you're young, and I don't know. I think as you grow up, you kind of realize like, wow, I had it pretty bad, or like, wow, I had it pretty fucking good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to be mind blown that like my friends, their family would let them watch like what's that cartoon with that cusses a lot?
South Park.
South Park.
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't even allowed to touch that. If Family Guy was on, I'd get my butt beat bad.
Dang,
I was not allowed to do anything, and then I'd always go to my friend's house and watch those shows.
It's like, ooh, Family Guy's on.
For sure. And I didn't necessarily enjoy it. I was just like, ooh, I'm not allowed to do this, but this is different, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Like, so yeah, I mean, we grew up like didn't have a lot of money. My dad like basically worked his way. Originally, he was a firefighter, which is pretty crazy. I don't know.
I did not know that.
Yeah, like he was a firefighter in my early years of life, like 1 through, I don't know, maybe 5 years old. And then he started like, he knew a guy in the fire department that like was into HVAC or something, like
air conditioning and
yeah,
stuff.
heating, ventilation, air conditioning. So he got into that business. And so he's like started working his way up there. Obviously, he started like really entry level, and so he's working a lot. And at that point, like honestly, from age like 4 until 12 or 13, my grandma was like the main one raising me, and my great grandma. Mm-hmm. And the cool thing is, like, we lived across the street from each other. So like we moved to Eagle Lake, and we literally got the house like across the street from my grandma, and it was super cool. So like I would like come home from school, go to my grandma's house, and like eat some freaking cookies or something.
Grandma's cookies, can't beat them.
Yes, dude, it's so good. Like, do my homework. I think one thing I really appreciate that my grandma did was she would always make sure I did my homework like immediately when I got home.
Yeah.
And I think that literally is the reason that I was a good student.
Really?
Like, it's crazy. I think it just developing a pattern or like a habit early on of just like, all right, I'm gonna get my work done, and
that's good.
I can do my fun stuff later.
I'm gonna make my kids do that for sure.
No, yeah, for sure. Like, I think it's super cool. And then she would also have me like read right before bed. So I was a pretty big nerd, dude. I was a pretty big nerd.
Your grandma was your best friend.
Yeah, honestly, dude. She I credit so much of my, I wouldn't even say success, but like
It was success. You were, I don't want to spoil anything, but you were valedictorian. You got some success, dude.
Yeah, I definitely credit my valedictorian status to her. Like, that's, I don't know, so much of that is dependent on like early growth and like what you do in the early stages of your life. So so yeah, anyways, like early on, like super into academics, wasn't really athletic at all. And so like first, second, third grade, fourth grade, really didn't do much other than like school,
Right.
being good at math or whatever and reading. And I mean, after that, like, I kind of started getting interested in like basketball.
Oh, yeah?
You know, like
Well, you got them
I was
skills on
probably
the
like
court right now.
solid 4'5" at the point, and and I was throwing up them free throws
And dunking.
missing, and dunking.
Often.
No, yeah, but like I guess nothing really eventful happened. I guess a typical day would just be like come home from school, like I said, homework, cookies, play a little bit outside with my brother and like neighbors, and then just like come home and like eat dinner and go to bed. It was such a simple life.
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. And it's such like I have like such a vivid memory of those evenings where
Really?
like just playing outside. It's so cool.
Kind of the exact same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
What would be
just
like
hanging
your
out.
typical day?
Yeah, like hanging out with like the neighborhood kids. I'd just get home from school, throw my stuff down, wouldn't do any of my homework, and then I would just go like hang out at the river with my buddies. Cause like, and like, well, there was like, I don't know. As I grew up, there were really like 6 or 7. I probably had 6 or 7 different like neighbor friends.
Oh,
Because
really?
people would move in and leave all the
Yeah.
time, so I just make friends with whoever I had.
Dang.
And I got a license, and then I dropped all them suckers.
I got real friends
made
now.
cool friends. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Like you're literally limited as a kid to
Oh, yeah.
whoever your neighbor is,
Oh,
and that's your friends.
I was like, man, I wish I lived in this neighborhood with these people. Like,
Really?
just the whole time, and I really appreciated like who I had. But
Yeah.
I had some cool friends.
No, yeah, it's
dudes.
crazy how things work out. But anyways, back to me.
Right. Oh, sorry.
Right. Oh gosh. But okay, let's see. I'll just start getting into the juicy stuff. So, I guess just first of all, like growing up, my brother always picked on me, which I was probably being a brat. Not gonna lie.
As brothers do.
He's a big brother. He's just doing his job. That's what he's here for.
Definitely.
But I think that also helped me a lot. It kind of toughened me up early on. I realized did you get like spankings growing up?
So many.
So many.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that helped you become like a more disciplined person, or do you think it was unnecessary, or what?
It helped me hide what I was doing, so I wouldn't get spankings. Like I got good at avoiding spankings. I didn't necessarily like stop doing
Yeah,
bad things.
that's so fascinating. Like discipline, how it works like that.
Everybody takes it differently.
Yeah, like everyone's different because that actually like worked on me.
Yeah.
And like
did you ever wear like 3 or 4 different pairs of underwear when you knew you were
no,
getting
because I didn't get spanked often.
Oh, I got it probably 3 times a week.
Oh my gosh,
That was a good week.
That was you did good, Theo.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, I remember one time I forgot what I said. I think I said like horny or something, and I had to get like hot sauce and like pour it in my mouth, and I was like, it burns.
That was punishment?
Yeah.
Oh my
No,
god.
it's bad for me. I hate spicy stuff.
Yeah,
dude.
no, that's so bad.
Yeah,
I've never heard of a family doing this.
It's pretty bad. It was my
Dude.
brother's idea. So
We would go to HEB, or no, we'd go to Home Depot. We'd get paint stirring sticks. I know I
Yeah.
told you this. And
Yes,
we'd,
yeah.
my dad would just like spank us with those. And every time we went to Home Depot, he would be like, "Hey, get more paint stirring sticks." And I was like, "Oh," and I would always know. And I was just like, "Oh,
like,
darn."
that's gonna spank my butt later.
That's gonna cause me pain in the future.
Oh my gosh, that's
And it
too
did.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh
And
man.
Did you ever get the belt?
Oh, always.
Yeah.
I don't think I even got like switches or anything. Just
Really?
belts. Yeah.
Gosh, the worst thing was like he would like swing for the belt, and then you like flinch really hard, and he hit you in the lower back, hit you in the spine, and I was always like a super skinny kid, so
Oh,
oh my
no.
gosh, that hurt so bad.
Straight to the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, dang it, like people can see that, you know?
Yeah. People are gonna know you're bad. Oh man.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I guess like I don't know, like what age. I guess like age 12, things started getting a little tough for me. I think like when I was like 11 or 12, my great grandma passed away, which she was like part of my everyday life. She was a really good friend.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, I just have so many good memories. She was one of those old ladies that would like drink a Diet Dr. Pepper
Oh yeah.
every hour of the day.
Yeah.
Not every day.
No.
Every hour. She
That's
had
how my
like
mom's
12
gonna be.
packs, 12 packs, 12
Just
packs.
like stacked up to the roof.
I don't know if she ate actual food, dude. Like, I think she just consumed Diet Dr. Pepper.
All of her protein came from the carbonation. and
Yeah.
everything. Oh my gosh.
No, yeah, we would call her Gunga, though.
Gunga.
Her name is Lucille,
That's a different grandma.
and I think it's just because, like, that's how I pronounced it when I was like, Gunga.
Gunga.
'Cause that's just what came out, so that's what we started calling her. She rolled with it, though. It's pretty dope.
I just call like Grandma Joyce and Grandma Betty.
Really?
Yep.
Like, you call grandma and then their name?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know. I just said grandma.
I've never, like, my friends, they would call him, like, Nana or Nanny.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
I don't know.
Something fancy.
I call my grandpa Papa.
Papa. Oh, that's a little fancy. That's like the next level past grandpa.
Grandpa Papa.
Papa. Yeah, like she passed away. I remember it was like 7th grade. I kind of knew it was going to happen. I was in band at this point.
Oh,
so
what'd you play?
yes, trumpet.
Nice,
And,
good choice.
Yeah, I guess I forgot about that. Like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, band was like a really big deal for me.
Yeah.
Like I practiced all the time because my brother was really good, and he did it all throughout high school.
Oh my gosh.
And it's a lot of dedication.
Oh yeah.
Like I had this conversation with my brother. It's pretty fascinating. He because like whenever I started running, I was like, dang, I really suck at running, dude. And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, what do you mean? And then like a few years later, I was like, dude, I'm getting pretty good at this running thing. And he's like, yeah, I honestly think that we are just talented people. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, look at what you're doing in school. You're making good grades. Mm-hmm. You're not really trying as hard as you could. And then look how you picked up the trumpet, and you literally became like one of the best. I'm not trying to like humble brag there, you know what I mean? I was the best, first chair, but
Right.
and then he's like, and then look at this, like you're doing really good in running.
For sure.
And I was like, I don't know, is that talent? Would you say that's talent?
I'd say it's like a part of who you are is like if you really care about something and you're gonna dedicate yourself. Like from me knowing you, like I say you could pick up something pretty easily if like say you wanted to get really good at chess.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, this guy, okay, never played poker in his life, and then became the best poker player I know in my life by like within 5 days or something. It was just insane.
That was so funny, dude. That was a fun streak.
I will never play even poker, or bet money on it.
It's so. I mean, that's like such an odds game, though.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's so interesting. Like, I always have a tough, like decision on like whether or not talent is important.
That's a tough conversation.
Yeah, maybe we'll say that for another video.
Yeah,
but like,
definitely talent versus like hard work and stuff.
yeah, like what's more important?
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe it's a combination. Maybe I don't know. But anyways, like with band, it was like super big part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And this was probably like I got back from a competition, so I just did super good at the competition. Roll into my driveway, and my dad's like, "Hey, I got bad news," and then he like tells me my great grandma passed away.
Oh man.
And I was like, this was like my first like death experience, so it was pretty hard on me because I was pretty young, and I don't know. I just had like a really good day, and then like that happened, and I was like, oh shoot. And then I remember I cried a while. I cried a lot. It was really different for me, but I kind of saw it coming. And she was like 80. I want to say she was like 88.
Oh my gosh.
It's like super old and
lived
awesome.
a lot of life.
Yeah, dude, she lived a lot of life. And at that point, like, my grandma, she like totally raised me from like 4 to 12. And my dad was like working a lot, understandably, and just like supporting us. And so at that point, like I feel like my grandma's like purpose was to take care of her mom, which was like Ganga.
Yeah.
So she found like so much purpose in that. Cause like if we were at school, she'd be like, you know, that was like her friend. That was like her best friend.
Definitely.
And so like after that happened, I feel like that was really hard on my grandma too.
Oh yeah.
And like I don't know if they were correlated, but like her health started like kind of going downhill too.
For sure.
And I just noticed like her attitudes were different.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And you know, that's like I would say that's about the time like yeah, like I said, like she just started kind of go downhill. And like when I was 13, this was like 2012. I remember I joined track that year. And it's because like, in middle school, I tried doing basketball and football. Actually, terrible. Like, so bad.
Awful.
Isn't that funny? Like, there was just people that were so naturally, I guess they were just bigger. They hit puberty before me.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I mean, that's so big. In middle school sports, it's whoever hits puberty first.
Dude, I feel like I had like a lot of like talent, like physically, like I could do backflips whenever I was like in like intermediate school. But like getting on the football, like playing football, if somebody was coming at me like really hard with a ball, I was like, why would I throw my body in front of his to like stop
I don't
him?
want to do that.
That's not what I want. Like,
let's not do that,
I want to
guys.
catch the ball and run with it. That'd be cool and stuff, I think.
But you're trying to like hurt me?
Like that guy,
I'll just go to the ground.
6 inches taller than me. I'm just gonna chill over here.
Yeah.
And then I got put on C team.
C team.
C team
2.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think middle school sports are pretty rough on us. I don't know. But yeah, I had joined track because I was not going to do football ever again. And at least I couldn't get tackled in track. At least that's what I thought. I mean, no, just kidding. I didn't get tackled.
Dun dun dun.
But, so yeah, I joined track. And so at this point, like my biggest things in life, school, track, and band. And at that point, Oh yeah, I'm gonna move my laptop real quick. Okay. At that point, my grandma was like, "Bless you."
Thank you.
That's what she was like. She said that though.
She said bless you.
No, but yeah, she suffered like I think it was a heart attack, and yeah, it was pretty bad. She had to get like a surgery, and she was kind of like not herself for a while. But I remember like visiting her in the hospital. And it was like track season, like the very beginning of track season, and she, she's just chilling. She's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "Nothing." She's like, "How's your day at school?" Like a typical conversation,
Right,
just running through the motions. Which this is another thing. I feel like whenever you have someone, you like take those conversations for granted.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you just kind of like, if you call someone, you're just like going through the motions, like the same, almost like a scripted conversation.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know. Like now, just think about what you would do to have a phone call with like one person that's passed away. Like that's so crazy. But yeah, like she like really wanted to go to one of my track meets, and I mean I honestly didn't want her to because I was super bad. Like I was getting last place every race.
Right.
It was really bad. Like I was doing the 1.5 miles and mile at a time because
Right.
like they didn't have a full 2 mile or whatever. And I remember I was trying to break 11 minutes in the 1.5 miles, which is like almost 7-minute pace, I think. I don't know. It's pretty bad.
That's not too bad. It's not too good, but
Yeah, it's not too good. But I was getting last place every race, and she was like, "You gonna win a race for me? You gonna win a race for me?" Dude, I was
Don't
like,
put that evil on me.
I was like, "Yeah, whatever."
I'm gonna woo.
I mean, yeah, sure. I didn't really like think much of it.
Right.
And like literally like a week later, I hadn't seen her, and then my dad I'm like in my classroom in history class, and they always call like announcements on the thing, and they're like, "Beep, can you send Ryan Trey into the office?"
No way.
And I'm like,
They never did that at our school. They always just called the room because there's like 4,000
yeah,
kids.
there's way too many kids. It was a small school.
Yeah.
But like when I heard that, I like immediately knew. Like I had a feeling it, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" I like started crying. I started walking in the office, and I saw my dad, and it was just like a moment of just mutual like
I understand, yeah.
shit,
Yeah, for sure.
And we literally didn't say anything, and we just like walked to the car and just drove home, and like I started crying. It was that was devastating. Like she was the mother figure in my life.
Yeah, for sure.
So like imagine like losing a mother, I guess. And she literally, I owe so much to her because she taught me like how to be a good person. She was so patient too.
Oh, I bet.
And we just took her. I feel like, I mean, I hate to say we took her for granted, but like now I really appreciate her
Definitely.
more than I could have. And I don't know. It was just sometimes you have to lose people to like realize how important they were, which is unfortunate. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I think like her. I don't know. I think everything works out for a reason. Like how my last conversation with her was about running.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden I had this like the moment of realization that I was going to win a race.
Yeah.
And that was such a bigger feat than what it sounds like now.
Oh, yeah.
Because winning a race was so hard. Like I would literally get overlapped in the mile, which was pretty embarrassing.
4 laps. Wow.
Yeah, so they'd throw me on the track, and it wasn't good. So I started like running a lot more.
Going ham.
Okay? And it's then 8th grade. Here we go. We're at the end of track season. I just worked my butt off all track season. It's a district meet. I step up on the line in the mile, best shape of my life.
Right.
The gun goes off.
Okay.
I start freaking sprinting, dude.
Oh my gosh.
I am flying down the track.
Oh my gosh.
1 lap down. I'm in 3rd place.
Oh my gosh.
I'm in striking distance, okay?
That's crazy.
2 laps down. 4th place.
Dang.
I know. Still in striking
The
distance.
suspense is killing me.
3 laps down. I'm in last. I'm in last place.
Oh my gosh.
And then the last lap, I just get overlapped. And it's just not bad. It's not good. Okay?
I thought you were going to go.
No, there's nothing good here.
Oh my gosh, what a build-up.
There's not a good story here. But
Wow.
that was like some major motivation. Okay? Because I was like, thought I was going to win that thing.
Yeah.
Ended up getting 8th. Which,
I mean, out of 8.
it was progress. It was the highest I placed all year.
Yeah.
Even though it was last. It was pretty bad. But
Tied your record for placement.
yeah.
That's good.
So, I mean, I joined cross country freshman year because I knew that was more running.
Oh, yeah.
And it was more chances to win a race. Did not do good in that either. But I ran, like, I swear I was training. Like, every day I was running. It was only, like, I could only run, like, 20 minutes without absolutely dying. So that's about how much I was doing. And, like, freshman year, I ended up running a 22:42 5K, which put me number 4 on the team.
That's good.
Yeah, I was not last on the team. And then track season comes around, and I'm on JV, which I went to a really small school, so JV is just really embarrassing. Like, the races are not quality races. They're not what you want to watch. Okay.
Yeah.
So
They're we have to race these kids. Let's
they have to do it because varsity in a small school is probably the equivalent, not even the equivalent of a JV at a big school. Like your competition, varsity. I mean JV was better than my varsity.
Yeah, we had a good team.
Yeah. So like, I got second place 9 times my freshman year.
Oh my gosh.
On JV.
That's rough.
That was each time it was just something else.
Really?
I ran like the 800 in the mile, and the same guy, he was like, you're never gonna believe this. He was like a foreigner. He was like a senior from Belgium.
No way.
And he went to like a school like right next to mine. A senior from Belgium beat me in the 800 like 6 times. God. Like, how's that even fair? It's because he couldn't be on varsity because he was a transfer.
Oh my gosh.
So it just felt so unfair.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was bad. Like one time, when I PR'd, I ran a 2:13 in 800 that year, and it was like I was winning with 50 meters to go, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
And then he just flew by me.
Oh my gosh. That's
devastating. I was just like, freaking Belgium.
But it happens.
It happens.
I hate Belgium.
So yeah, sophomore year was when I won my first race. Cross country, I didn't win. I ended up running 18 flat, and then, hang on guys, I'm gonna hit the record button again.
Welcome back to a new episode.
The camera stopped recording. But yeah, sophomore year, 18 flat 5K. Sorry, I'm getting significantly better.
Definitely, that was a huge jump.
Huge. And then
I missed those jumps, like where you could PR by a minute or at least 30 seconds,
Can you imagine?
Right now, PRing in the mile by 30 seconds, dude. Oh my gosh.
I'd freak out. Almost have the world record.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. Then sophomore year, dude, this is such a interesting thought to me. Like, psychologically, I always wanted to win the mile. And there was probably like a dozen times sophomore year in track season where I deserved to win the mile. Like, I was in first place and I was the most fit person out there, but there was like something stopping me from crossing in first place. Does that make any sense? Like, can you relate to that at all? Like, there's literally something holding me back from like running faster whenever I was in first place.
Yeah, no, I've never gotten second place, so I don't know.
I'm a
that's weird though.
champion.
I like just like a mental block kind of.
Yeah.
Or like it felt like a physical block, but it was like all in your head.
It was so weird. It was like paralyzing. I remember being in like the home stretch, like 200 meters to go, in a dozen races, like almost every race. And I was on varsity at this point. And like, for whatever reason, I couldn't run fast in the last 200, even though I wasn't even tired.
Oh my gosh.
And then this guy just like always flies by me. And then like at home, it was like the last meet of the year. I remember like it was a mile. It was super dark, perfect conditions. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
This is my last chance. And, basically, like, the gun goes off, and I'm easily the most fit person out there. Yeah. So I'm like, if I don't win this, there's no way this is going to happen. So I literally go into the last lap winning by 80 meters.
Dang.
Okay?
That's a lot.
Running as hard as I can the last lap. And all of a sudden, this guy literally has 20 meters behind me, like,
oh my gosh,
with 200 to go. And I'm like, no way. So I start sprinting as hard as I can. And then, like, 100 meters to go, all of a sudden, he just, like, stops. He just, like, literally, I mean, he didn't stop. He, like, starts jogging. I think he got hurt or something.
No.
I don't know. But, like, 150 meters to go, I look back, and I start jogging. Not, like, jogging, but it's, like, the mental block thing again.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm going as fast as I possibly can, but it's not fast.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
And literally, it was, like, a free win. I think that's the only reason, like, the only reason I won is because he started, like, I don't know, I guess he got hurt.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't have won that race. Which is, I don't know. But after you get the first win, you kind of realize, like, it's like a foreign feeling, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's something you're not used to.
And then you get used to it.
You get used to it, and it feels good.
And the worst thing is once you get used to it, and then you don't get it, and then it's bad.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Yeah. Junior year, 16:56 in the 5K, and then, like, what, 202 and 427. I mean, the biggest goal for me was like making it to state. And we were talking about this the other day with like, I think Matt and some of the boys. But
The boys.
the boys. Whenever you have a goal, you kind of like fantasize about it. You kind of like make it this huge thing that's like so unattainable. And it's like when you get it, you're going to be so happy.
Absolutely.
And it's just going to be like the perfect life.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah. And then like once I made it to state, like all that work, like it was such a journey to get there.
about. Oh my gosh.
I was like, wow, I'm the same person. I don't feel any different. I had this big accomplishment and it's awesome, but like I'm no different.
Right. It's just all like subtle changes leading up to the whole point, and then you don't even realize the changes.
Yeah, because you expect it to be like a huge jump. To
Yeah, like
the-
I'm here and now I'm here.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know.
It's like you expect it to be teleporting. Like if you see this huge mountain in the distance, you imagine the peak to be like, oh my God. But whenever you're climbing up it,
You're like,
you kind of like see the views as you're going up. And so the peak isn't as crazy as
exactly. And
you
like,
imagined.
as you go up there, you're like, you realize like how much work you actually did put in there, and you're like, yep, that's about right. I put in
Yeah.
this much work, and I'm here.
And here are the results.
Yep. This
Exactly.
is accurate.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so and I mean that was like generally that was actually the source of my motivation all throughout high school. So like running wasn't even a selfish thing for me. It had always been just like fulfill like a promise, which is like so cliche and cringy, but it was like yeah, it was literally my motivation. And so like senior year, my ultimate goal, like I kind of translated my promise to win state
Right.
to state. I mean, I kind of translated my promise to win a race to state.
To state,
Because that is the ultimate win.
It is.
There is no other like bigger feat that you can accomplish as a high school runner.
Being a state champ.
Yeah. And like sophomore year, I was looking at like Kyle Doty, who was like one of my main competitors senior year. I watched him like win state in all 3 events, cross country, 2 mile. And at that point, I was taking photos in the stands of them. So like here I am, I have this sincere goal, and I'm like taking photos of them,
Right.
of the people that I could be racing in 2 years.
Right.
So like the fact that I went from that, like sitting in the stands and watching them, to senior year beating them.
It's weird to think of like how many kids were like that way towards us. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, senior year, I second place at cross country and state, which was like exciting for me because I didn't expect to be like top 3 even. And then track, worked so hard senior year. That was the hardest I worked. So disciplined about eating, doing core every night, my strides, and I was training like alone. So I was like super disciplined, best shape of my life.
Oh, man, I could not do that. I don't think.
I think you're good. I think so. But senior year in the 3200 meter, I got second at state, and then the mile I got second. And the mile was like the biggest thing for me. Like I would just imagine on runs. Like I would run around the track for like 10 miles, and I would just imagine the mile every single time.
Right.
I would like kind of all right, that's 400 meters down, and 101,
Yeah.
800 meters, like 207. And it was just, I don't know. The mile was always the big one for me.
Oh, for
And then I ended up losing by like a tenth of a second. That was devastating.
Gosh.
That was actually devastating.
Should have shaved your legs.
Should have shaved my legs. But dude, it's so weird. Like I know you've seen the video. Like the last 5 meters, everything just like.
I saw you. You look like.
Everything
Garbage,
I had just
but like in a good way.
Yeah. Everything I had just like
That's the
left
best way
my
to
body.
finish, though. You know.
Yeah,
like
for
just
sure.
laying it absolutely everything down.
I had
and then
nothing
knowing
left.
You couldn't do anything better. You cannot ask for a better race. Than
Yeah,
that.
'cause I have no regrets now. I know like I did everything I could, and you know, I don't know why I got second. Maybe it just wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah.
But you know, I definitely am glad that I went on the journey. You know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, running's so big for me, and I'm excited to hear like about your running story. But like, I don't think if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be able to compare things I do today to like, okay, I came from the bottom
Yeah.
and then I worked my way to the top.
Exactly.
So like, if I can do that, I can do that in YouTube or like
Your business. or
business.
whatever.
Like it's possible.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely anything.
I think that's so valuable. Like, really, I think the biggest thing you can learn from your past is like how to apply it to your present.
Oh, for sure.
And to build a future. So like, I don't know. I think that's the biggest thing. So like, I guess now that you guys kind of know my story, for the most part. Wait, I need to talk about Neptune.
Yeah, you haven't even talked about YouTube, Neptune.
YouTube, yeah.
Getting to
Wait.
college, being in
Oh
college,
yeah, guys. Sorry.
respecting women.
I'm just jumping the gun here. Respecting women. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, apart from running, high school, I was valedictorian. Had a really good had some really good friends in high school I love so much. Shout out to Caden Weezy, Emma Kelly, Sophie Kelly. I mean, there's so many people, too many people to name.
For sure.
But like, just such a good environment. I went to a really small school. I really enjoyed the friendships I had and still have. But I think like the biggest thing was having them to support me on like whatever it is that I wanted to do, because had some really good friends. You know, it's really special. I think that's so important.
Definitely.
The people you surround yourself with is literally, in my opinion, the most like affecting factor on your life.
Oh yeah.
I don't see anything else really determining the outcome of what you do.
Yeah, it's like you are the sum of your 4 closest friends.
Exactly.
Like, I would definitely say that, because in high school, I was the sum of my 4 absolute closest friends. Like, all my jokes were jokes that we all thought were funny. Mm-hmm. All my, like, everything I said, just the way I acted, the way I moved. I don't know. That makes sense. But now that I'm here, it's like you, Brett, Ryan, George. Like, I'm like the sum of you guys. So like we're all together, and I put my own stuff in there, and you guys all put your own stuff in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And we all kind of merge, and we all I don't know.
You kind of I think it's good. I mean, I think we're all pretty quality human beings.
Definitely.
Which is really awesome.
I'd say above average.
Above average. Just slightly though. Slightly above average. Like friendships are so important. High school was like, I really realized that. And so like throughout high school, really just focused on grades, because I wanted to go to a really good college, because I wanted to get a really good job.
Oh.
And I wanted to be really successful, because I mean, growing up, I really didn't have much. And like, I just realized I wanted just to be able to give my kids so much. Mm-hmm. I just want to be in a financial position to like, I never want to struggle, especially when I have kids, because they don't. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like as a parent, you should be responsible for that. Like, that's big.
Definitely.
I remember like when I was younger, there'd be nights where like I literally didn't know what I was gonna have for dinner, and I would like make bread with cheese and call it fucking pizza, and I'd like, throw some ketchup on there, like bon appetit. But I mean,
grilled cheese minus the grills.
Yeah. I mean, everyone struggles. It's nothing crazy, but I don't want my kids to have nights like that, you know? Mm-hmm. And so like, yeah, I think I worked really hard in high school on grades for sincere reasons. Like, like I said, I think everything that you do that are goals, you need to have a sincere goal and like a real genuine reason to pursue it.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's not going to come true. It's not going to come to fruition. Like, I made the goal, an arbitrary goal, to do the splits this year. Yeah. Have not made any progress on that, because I have no idea why I want to do the splits. Yeah. I don't really want to do the splits.
No, I did the exact same thing a few months ago. I was like, man, I'm going to learn the splits, and in 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing the splits. I still can't touch my toes.
Still can't.
But yeah.
Still can't touch my toes.
That's so true, though. If you, like, it's like, the whole, like, if you want to be successful as much as you want to breathe, then you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like, I wanted to be a fast runner more than I wanted like anything else in the world, so I was a fast runner.
Exactly, dude.
Like
that's how the universe conspires, dude.
I want to be successful on YouTube. I want to be successful with my business, so I will be.
Yeah.
And it's not that I just want to, but it's that I kind of feel like I need to.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
It's not like it's hard to explain. Everybody has like that one thing that they're like, and if it's as simple as drinking water and breathing air, then you're gonna make it a point to drink water and breathe air every single day.
It's gonna be a thing. That's crazy, man. I mean, yeah. So, like, high school, going into senior year, me and my best friend ever, Caden Weezy, we'd always talked about, like, entrepreneurial stuff. We'd always, like, kind of talked about, like, Shark Tank, or, like, yo, you hear what freaking Snapchat just did? I don't know, it's just random stuff. Yeah. And we always found it fascinating to have, like, products, like, wow, I wonder why they did it that way, or, like, you know, stuff like that.
Definitely.
And so, going into senior year, we always talked about like doing businesses. I think one time we were like, all right, so you know how students aren't allowed to have Wi-Fi at school? Let's like bring a generator and like a Wi-Fi network.
And charge Wi-Fi?
And charge kids like $20 a month to use the Wi-Fi. And then we had ideas like that. We always just kind of like bounce back and forth. And then we talked to the principal. He's like, no, you can't do that. And then we're like, oh, shucks.
Ask for parental permission.
Yeah.
That's
where we
definitely
went
something
wrong.
you go behind their back.
No, yeah, 'cause it's such a small school. Like, he'd find out anyway.
In my locker room, what I would do is I'd go to Sam's Club and I'd buy things in bulk. Like I'd buy like 80 Gatorades or something like that, and I'd buy them for like 50 cents each.
Yeah.
And I'd sell them for $1, so I'd be doubling my money.
Dang.
And I did that with like honey buns, Gatorades, all this stuff. And then I made a good amount of money. Like the way they would work was my mom would invest $10 into Gatorades. And that would be like my lunch money. So I would use that $10, turn it into $20 or $25 or whatever, and then with that money I'd put it into my lunch money. So my mom would like inadvertently be giving me $20 for lunch money. So I just had to do like a little bit of work. And
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that entrepreneurial instinct. That's so awesome.
It was a good deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So like we would kind of just like have ideas like that, random stupid crap. Yeah. And those, I mean, they were really bad sometimes.
I like it.
And so like going into senior year, we were like, all right, that's it. It's the summer. We're gonna start a business, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be the best thing you ever seen. And so like at the time, everyone had Camelbacks at school, and we were like, dang. Like as we're just fondling our freaking Camelbacks, we're like, what are we gonna do for a business? You know? And we created these things called touch lists. So throughout your day, you would just like write down everything you touched, everything. And you kind of like think like, okay, could we do that product for a business? Could we do that one? And water bottles was like the first thing we wrote down, and we were like, no way. And after like a couple weeks, we were like, you know what? What if we did water bottles? How could we do it different? What could be different. Do it different, man. And we were like, all right, everyone has plastic water bottles right now, reusable. They get kind of gross.
For sure.
What if we did like stainless steel bottles, like Yeti? And so we looked more into that, and we found like this website, Alibaba, which is Chinese manufacturers of just bulk products.
For sure.
And basically we got a lot of different samples, which this is making it sound like a lot easier than it is. We had no idea what we were doing. So we're like emailing Chinese factories, and they're replying in Chinese, and we're like, what? What do you mean? I can't read this. And so like eventually you'll get some that know English, and just try to develop a relationship with them. And so they sent us samples, paid for the samples, which, you know, we like kind of put our savings together, started like just trying to find a way to like build a business. And so we got these samples in, picked one that we liked, got a logo from 99 Designs for $300, which ended up being this Neptune logo, which is so iconic. Honestly, love it so much. It just really grows on me. I've never once regretted picking that logo.
Oh yeah, it's a bomb.
It's so good. And then after that, we like got an LLC, which was like probably $600, $700. And with the remaining money we had, we placed an order for like 1,000 bottles, which was like $5,000.
Jeez.
And so that's a lot of bottles when you go to a small school and you don't have any channel to sell them on.
1,000 bottles. Oh my gosh.
It's a lot. So we ended up selling after like we waited like 2 months for production, we sold like 200 at school, which was like $4,000. Like that almost paid for all of our stuff. And then all of a sudden, like everyone at school had one, and we had no one else to sell it to. So it was like 800 bottles. What are we gonna do with these? How are we gonna sell these? We tried going door to door so many times.
Oh my gosh.
Never worked. Like we maybe sold like 8 over the course of like a month
that's
of
not
like
good.
going every weekend, so many houses.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just like, I don't know, because we couldn't persuade them. I wasn't very good at like persuasion, I guess, or like selling the product, because I didn't really know much about the market. I didn't know like why we were doing it. And that's like when we came up with like the idea for Plastic Oceans Foundation, and which is just like a charity that works on getting plastic pollutants out of the ocean. It's just a kind of a cause that we could get behind that I think also like added to the value of the branding. And so like we still had like 750 bottles. Like, how the hell are we going to sell these things? Yeah. And at that point, that was over, like, it was senior year was over. And I decided, like, you know what, I'll just start a YouTube channel. Maybe I can, like, reach a couple hundred people that way and sell some bottles.
Definitely.
And, you know, like, running videos, I was already running. I chose A&M to run at, which is another thing. Honestly, it wasn't a big deal. I just decided between UT and A&M. UT would be, like, an academic path. A&M would be a more sports pass, Sport. I need my sports pass, by the way. Getting sports stuff.
Yeah.
So I went to A&M. But that summer, I like made running videos, and like they really started taking off, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Like I started getting like 1,000 subscribers a week at one point, and that was insane. And so like that's how we got rid of the Neptune bottles.
Really?
And so like after that, we were able to place an order for like a new model, and kind of people wanted a bigger bottle, so we got the bigger size. And you know, now we're just like working on some really big stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like so cool. I think like building a personal brand has been really good for me. I think like I honestly think like anyone that has any desire to be an entrepreneur, or even maybe not, like just having some other source of income, I recommend like trying to build a personal brand. And I notice a lot of people are doing that, at least in like the running sphere. A lot more people are trying. I notice like a lot of small bloggers now, which is awesome. I think that's good. But other than Neptune running, YouTube, I can't. Those are like the biggest spheres of my life, I guess. Other than the fact that I dropped out. I mean, if you're watching this, you probably know I dropped out. But like, I basically decided. I kind of like have a whole video on this. It's like a 15-minute video, kind of justifying why I dropped out. I just don't see the value of school, and it wasn't really providing me value. I really hated it, and I think there's more ways to be successful than just getting a degree and working a job. And that's proven, like, that's been proven to me, like based on everything that's happened after I dropped out. So, yeah, I mean, that's really the big things for me, like in life, I guess. YouTube, Neptune, dropping out.
Yeah.
Those are my big ones. But,
those are very good ones.
Yeah, I think lessons that my life has taught me is like the people that you hang around are so important. Like my grandma was so influential on me.
Absolutely.
And she was like my best friend, spent so much time with her. She would always drop like gems too, like just gems of wisdom, like patience is a virtue. And I'm like,
patience
at
is
the
a
time,
virtue.
yeah, at the time I didn't appreciate it, but like I realize now, like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, she molded me into like who I am today. Just like, I don't know, I kind of like myself.
I like you as well.
I like you.
I can take a fancy to you.
I think it's important to like yourself too. I think that's another lesson. There was a lot of times where I was pretty depressed in life, like really just wasn't happy. I remember in 3rd grade, I was taking some test, and all I could think about was like how much I really didn't like life. And I started writing stuff on my paper just about like how much I didn't like life. And my teacher like pulled me aside and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm fine." And then like she just kind of brushed it off. But that,
I don't know. Teacher would report something like that. Right?
Yeah, I know. She just, I don't know. She kind of like just took it as, all right, he's cool.
Yeah.
But you know, if you love yourself, dude, like that's another thing. Another big part of my life. Never had a girlfriend, which I'm 19 years old. It's getting progressively more embarrassing to say. Nah. But then again, it's like
you're building up.
Yeah, I think I want to work on myself as much as I possibly can, so I can like offer as much as I can to the next person.
Absolutely. Like
whoever comes along. And I don't know. I think like working on yourself, loving yourself is the first step.
I agree.
To being a good person and like
I contribute absolutely nothing to my relationship.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
Is that so?
Oh, well, you're terrible.
Oh, that's the end of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, like any more lessons? So like patience, huge. Running, like I had to be so freaking patient. Because you want to win, you want everything right now, and that's just not how it works.
Yeah,
there's a journey you got to go on.
It takes so long. Like I have an Ironman in 2 months, and I'm not ready.
That's crazy, dude. I think it's gonna work out though.
Gosh, yeah, I need to start running.
Yeah.
As soon as my knee gets fixed.
As soon as your knee starts feeling
I'll start
better.
next week.
So yeah, I think patience.
Oh shoot,
loving yourself.
I didn't go to class today. I forgot. Dang it.
Shucks. You know what? Wait, I got class right now. Oh yeah. So just finishing up my side. Patience. Love yourself. What else?
Respect women.
Respect women. Always.
Keys. Golden keys. Get tickets.
Try new things. YouTube. I got some shit for trying YouTube.
Oh yeah, everybody like talks trash on you, and then like you get 1,000 subs, and they're like, he has 1,000.
1,000, wow. Damn.
I mean, all right. And then you get 2,000, and they're like, what? Like,
what? I'm a fan. They like try to like be cool with you.
And then you hit like 10,000, and they're like, hey man, can I get a shout out or
Yeah.
something? Hey, weren't you like just dogging on me for this?
Yeah, it's
No,
crazy. I mean, I still get shit from like my old friends in high school, and they're like just passive aggressive, like, "Hey, everybody, go follow my YouTube."
Yeah.
Like they don't even have a YouTube. They're obviously talking about me
Yeah.
in like a group chat or something.
Well then.
So, but I mean, it's it's whatever. Like I said, if you love yourself, that stuff won't affect you.
Yeah, it really doesn't have to.
You kind of get to the point where you're just like untouchable if you love yourself
Oh, yeah,
enough.
for sure.
It's awesome. But
Yeah, nobody can make you feel bad about yourself without your permission.
boom,
Boom.
boom,
Theo Goff original quote.
original
I just thought
baby.
of that. Just kidding. I saw it on Twitter.
So yeah, that pretty much wraps mine up. I'm sure I missed a lot of stuff, but I mean, this podcast can't be like crazy long. I mean, it could be.
Is it gonna be an hour?
Yeah, I mean, there's no time limit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like, I'm excited to hear yours though. I know this guy's lived such a good, hardworking person. So
Lived a
like,
lot of life.
he lived a lot of life. Pay close attention because I think you
is-
guys can learn
This is
a
gonna
lot.
be the short story long. So
Okay.
I'm kidding. All right. So where do I start? Birth. All right. 1998, I believe, December 30th. So I'm told. I wasn't there. I don't know. Neither one of my parents showed up to my birth. It was really rude. But
That's messed up.
Yeah. So okay. So I was born. Growing up until I was about, I'd say, shit, I don't even know what age. Probably 13. Nah. Okay, I'd say 10. Up until the point I was 10, I vaguely remember, like my older sister and my older brother remember a
Yeah.
lot more. Oh, I should start with that. I have an older brother. I have an older sister who is my mom's ex-husband's daughter, so she's not technically my sibling anymore, but like we're still tight. I have an older brother. He's my half brother. He's my dad's son, not my mom's son though. Super cool dude. He was my neighbor for a little while. I have one older sister. She goes to St. Edward's in Austin, so she goes to college. She's gonna be what's the people who touch people and make them feel better?
Touch like therapist.
Like a physical therapist.
Oh,
There you
okay,
go.
physical.
All right. So,
Physical therapist. Yeah.
yeah, so she's doing that. I have a little sister who is kind of a male. Her name's Haley. Some people call her Henry. I have a little brother. Oh, I have another little sister underneath that, Christina.
Christina.
She's a tough character to get along with. And then I got the coolest little brother. His name's Daniel.
Daniel.
Chillest dude in the world. Like, gosh, that dude knows how to
How old
throw
is he?
down. He is 10 years old.
10.
Yep.
Double digits, baby.
Double digits, baby. And no, maybe he's 8. I don't know.
That's such a big amount of like. There's a big gap right there.
Yeah, especially for that age. Okay. Yeah, cool dudes. So growing up, up until I was like 10 years old, I remember like going to Disney World. I remember going out to eat 3 times a day. I remember like just living like a really good life. Like we would go to Toy Story and my dad would be like, all right, you only get one toy. I'd pick the most expensive toy. He'd be like, okay, good. And
Okay,
then
good.
It was like super nice. I really liked it. I liked being rich.
That sounds nice. Yeah.
So my dad, whenever I was born, or around that age, he started a company, an air conditioning business, an entrepreneur himself. He started an air conditioning business, and it was just him and my mom. Whoa.
Him and your wife.
Him and his wife, my mom.
Yeah.
So they started this company, and they started just him and my dad. Like when I was younger, he busted his balls harder than any guy I've ever met.
Really?
And it's like kind of like a known thing that like all the Goffs, so like me and my older brother, my little brother Wilby, and my dad were all like extremely hard workers to where like when it comes down to like putting effort into a job, we're not gonna like half-ass it.
Yeah.
So he just absolutely respectably just started this company up from nothing, and then at his peak he was making like almost what doctors were making, more than that, like $250,000 a year.
That's crazy.
Just money.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But the thing is, with having money, they also like spent money. So like taught me a lesson from that is like when you get money, don't spend it. Like remember that eventually you won't have money. So we went to Disney World. We went to a resort every once in a while. I found like talking like this sound like a really rich kid, but that's like very vague memories. I don't really remember anything at all. I'm never gonna take my kids outside of the house until they're at least old enough to remember it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take them to Disney World when they're 3.
Yeah, that's a vacation for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So okay. Whenever I was about 13, my dad got this huge deal with this like company, and they were like, "We're gonna pay you like $100,000 to do this one job at this hotel. So you just gotta put the air conditioning equipment, do the labor and everything,
Yeah.
we'll give you $100,000. And I'm oversimplifying it, but like, so he agreed. And then after that job with this one guy, he had other jobs with other guys, which would pay even more. So he was like,
Wow.
gonna finish this up, go to the next job. And then we were on track to be millionaires, which is insane. So he was like building up this company. And one day, they finished all the work on this hotel, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like payday and everything, and it was like time to get paid. And then this guy who like owns the hotel and was like paying my dad and everything was just like, all right, decided to file bankruptcy, divorce his wife, and give everything he owned to his wife. Oh, well, he divorced and then filed bankruptcy. So basically, he divorced his wife and then had absolutely nothing to his name. He had no money, absolutely nothing, and then filed bankruptcy, which means like basically bankruptcy is a way that you can get your debt forgiven, but it kind of like screws over a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So he was in millions and millions of dollars of debt with like air conditioning, plumbing, electricity, and everything. And then he had millions of dollars worth of hotel built already, and it was like ready to go. And so he pretty much just like okay, well now I don't know. It's tough to explain. He was a con artist, and then now he lives in a huge house somewhere in East Texas. I don't know exactly where, but he lives with his ex-wife, and then she has millions and millions of dollars. I wonder how that happened.
Yeah.
And so now they live there. They have armed security driving around their place all the time. That like so many people want them dead. So many people want them dead. Basically, like all the electricians, plumbers, and stuff, they all got together and were like, "We're gonna go to his house and we're gonna kill him." And they drove over there, and they got like met up with armed like security, and they were like, "You're gonna turn around or we're gonna shoot you right now." And there's really nothing they could do.
That's insane.
And my dad said that there was like a way that he could get that guy thrown in jail, but it would cost him another $200,000.
Oh,
and my dad was like,
it's not worth it.
Yeah. So basically, the amount of money that my parents invested into that hotel was close to $100,000, and then the amount of money, I think it was like 3 different jobs that they were working on.
Yeah.
So he had like $300,000 or something. Or it was like $250 invested in the whole thing. And whenever that happened, they were like borrowing the money to buy the equipment.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get the equipment back because it was like their property now. So they got screwed over. They got thrown into so much debt, and then the entire business in like the matter of minutes went from an extremely successful business to like everything died.
Shoot.
But like it went from being so successful to like completely just nothing really. And yeah, so when I was 13, I still remember the day my mom was like just crying so much, and it was just such a bad day. Like, yeah, did not want to be there. Didn't want to be at my house.
Like the the hotel owner guy, like he had you guys do all the work and like put in all the equipment.
Yep, all the labor,
all the investment,
Yeah.
and then he literally like ran away.
Yeah, he just
Pretty
took the
much
money and left.
changed his name, like didn't really like move countries, but metaphorically like
Yeah.
just fleed and filed bankruptcy. So like
Yeah.
he didn't owe them anything. That's actually so crazy.
Yeah.
How can you like live with yourself?
Dude,
Like,
I don't know, but they do very wealthy.
they find a way.
They
Yeah.
live very wealthy now. But yeah, that sucks. Those people are not good people.
Not good.
But and a lot of people ask like if I'm like people who know, they're like, well, do you hold like a huge grudge on him? And like for a while I was like, man, if I ever see that I'm gonna kill that guy.
Yeah.
And then like now I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of like I'm forgiving in the aspect of like, because he did that, I became who I am right now.
Yep.
And if he didn't, who knows where I'd be. Like, so I'm not holding any grudges on that guy. I forgive him. Like, he made a mistake intentionally, but it's whatever. So basically my parents like tried really hard to recover the business. They like, my dad kept busting his ass, like working just crazy hours. And he was like the owner of the business, but he was also the number one worker. So,
Wow.
Yeah, my mom was in
That's
charge
unusual.
my mom was in charge of like all the paperwork and everything.
Yeah.
So he was more of a leader than like a boss.
Okay.
So yeah, and then about when I was 13, I realized that like it was very obvious. Oh wait, no. Well, pretty much immediately after that, when I was like 11 or 12, it was like pretty obvious that we didn't have any more money. We like stopped doing things. We stopped going out. We stopped like all this stuff. And so my dad was like he was in debt and then he also was in debt a lot of money because people would like call him to do a job for like $1,000, and then they'd call their credit card company after they pay and be like, hey, cancel that.
You're joking.
Yeah, no, it happens so much.
Is that like the air conditioning business? Is that like pretty common?
Yeah,
It's just so
air
easy to
conditioning and
do
plumbing,
that.
You just like you're like, oh yeah, thanks for the business. Swipe the card, pay for it, and then as soon as they drive away, you're like, oh hey, look, they did something wrong.
Yeah,
Cancel
because
my
you
card.
can't like undo the work you did
Exactly.
in those fields.
And then so my dad was like, I was just talking about it last summer, and he said that he had about $50,000 to $60,000 just in those little like
no
amounts
way.
of money that he lost, and it's so crazy. So business was failing. When I was before I was 15, I was about 14 and a quarter or something. I don't know. I started my own lawn mowing company. It was me and my buddy, and then my buddy got really mad and he didn't want to work with me anymore. So I was like, all right. So I started this I was like, man, I'm a kid. Who would hire me whenever they already have like all these people like mowing their lawn and whatnot?
Yeah.
So I was like, I lived in a place where the lawns would have been like $50 or $60 to mow, and I would just pretty much tell anybody like any lawn for $20.
Wow.
And so every day I'd get home from school and I'd mow like 4 to 5 lawns, and then with that I'd have $100, and then like I would like pay for the gas and everything. It was really nothing. And well, no, I think my mom paid for my gas in exchange for me mowing their lawn.
Okay.
So it was like pretty simple.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I did that, and I raised a lot of money like that. I had like a couple $1,000s just like hidden in this little like box.
Dang. Like as a 14-year-old?
Yeah.
Wow.
And like my parents never knew how much money I had really, but as soon as I turned 16, I got my license immediately, and I immediately got a job at a trampoline park. I worked there. It quickly moved up to like one of the higher positions, and it was so simple. You just show up, you do your job, you like follow the rules, and you act like a good person, and you get advanced. Like
You get
people
raised.
don't understand that. People show up to work and they're like, oh, I don't want to work today. Like, okay, I mean, you're scheduled. You're gonna work today. Like,
that's so crazy. I mean, if you like, I don't know. I think it's just a mind shift.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hate working like that. Like,
for
I
sure.
really admire that you've done it so much and so consistently. But I understand that, like, if you want to be a good employee, you have to understand, like, the mission of the business and just, like, get behind it.
I think that's why I was successful, is because
Really?
I enjoyed it. Like,
Really?
it sounds stupid, but I enjoyed working.
That's everything.
Well, I worked at a trampoline park, which is my favorite place in the world, and I loved working. I skipped out on an opportunity to go to prom my sophomore year because I wanted to work that Saturday.
That's insane.
I was like, if I don't show up, then I won't work those 8 hours, and then my check's gonna be less. I'm doing that. No.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my mindset, and so I worked there. I worked a lot of jobs. I worked there. I worked as a mechanic. I worked as a waiter. I worked as a shoe sales associate.
Like a
I sold
commission?
shoes. Yeah. And I did a lot of jobs. But basically, and then there would be times when I was about 16, my mom, she would like, this is embarrassing, but like she would need to like ask me to borrow money. So I would lend her like $1,000.
Yeah.
And then like I wouldn't get it back or anything, but it was like understanding. And then I started running. It's pretty much the same story as him. I loved running, got into it. That was like my escape from like how kind of shitty the real world was.
Yeah.
But like, so I loved running. I would always do that. I never missed mileage because I just enjoyed it so much. And I quickly became like one of the better guys on the team and then one of the better guys in the state.
It's so amazing that you did. He became like such an incredible runner. Literally like top of his class in running while working 40-hour weeks.
Yeah.
Like that honestly, like that's the most admirable thing I think
Dude,
about you.
this is rough.
I think just saying it with words doesn't put it in perspective, and I can only imagine like how hard that was.
Gosh, it was insane. What is it? Okay, so I pretty much I was working every day. I would like go to school, go to track practice, and then I'd immediately go straight to work, stay up until like 10 o'clock at work, go home, and then wake up at 6 a.m. And that would be like my schedule every day. And
No free time.
Yeah, like on my days off, I'd live it up or I'd sleep.
Yeah.
Like trying to catch up or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was like my sophomore, freshman year. And then my junior year, that junior year was pretty much the same. I was just working all the time, like saving my money, bought a few cars here and there. Senior year, going into my senior year, my mom pretty much like they like couldn't really afford the mortgage on the house, so I kept like paying mortgage payments, and like it was helping, but only for a few months. And then
like
I
couldn't
realized
maintain it.
Mortgage payments are every month. Like I can't just like keep giving all this money, and I lost a lot of money on that, but it was worth it because I got to be with my family for another 3 months. And then so my family we got this letter that just pretty much said we're being evicted, and I had to move out they had to move out, so they pretty much packed up all their stuff. And I remember the day that they told me that, and I was like, okay, it's not bad. It's not too big.
Yeah.
But I had to kind of like make a decision if I was gonna run cross country and like be with my team, because we were going to state. Was I gonna be like a cross country runner and be with my friends, because they were all counting on me. And then I already like planned on going to college here and everything, and I had a beautiful girlfriend. I couldn't leave her or anything. And I was like, do I do that, or do I like move to Colorado with my family to live with my grandparents? And so I pretty much decided to that day I drove to my work, and I was like, hey, can I have more shifts? I need more money. And they were like, yeah, we'll give you more shifts, this and this. And then it was pretty calm. My voice was scratchy and everything, but I was all right. And then I went to go talk to my coaches, and I pretty much just explained, I was like, listen, I might be late to practice sometime. I might do this, but I guarantee I'm going to be just as hard of a worker as I am. And they were like, yeah, I know. And then I just broke down, and I was just in tears. I couldn't and I fell apart. It was bad. And that was the first time I cried in so many years, 5 or 6 years. Yeah, it was bad.
Man.
And
wait, was that senior year?
That was senior year, going in I think that was before even school started.
Okay.
But so I did that, and my coach and my assistant coach were there, and as school started, and as my family was just packing up and moving, I got all my stuff together. I sold all of my belongings. I used to have a snake, an albino Burmese python, which I love that snake so much.
Yeah.
But I had to sell her because I couldn't just take her. And I didn't know where I was gonna live or anything. I figured I would just kind of live out of my car, and I was like, I'll just keep all my laundry in there, and I'll use the laundry room at my school, and I'll just shower at school, and I'll be fine. And that was my plan. And then my assistant coach called me into his office and was like, listen, I have a spare bedroom that you can stay in. And it was so awesome. I was so glad. So I stayed with him for a few months, and then eventually I was able to get my own place, which I lived in a trailer home for I lived there for 3 months, I think. And but the people who lived there, okay, so my brother lived in the same trailer park, and a trailer park, it's funny, it's a mobile home park.
Yeah.
He lived 4 units down, and I was gonna live with him, but they were like, you can't live there, the septic system won't handle another person. So I was like, oh, that sucks. I'll just live out of my car again. And then they're the owner of the entire place was like, listen, you can live in this unit. It's pretty dirty, and it's not the best condition, but it has a bed, and you just have to pay me utilities. And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
So I'm like, yes, I'll take it. And then I go in there and I look at it. The place has cockroaches absolutely everywhere.
Oh my
There's
God.
It's so dirty. It smells like trash. It was actually disgusting. I remember the first night I laid there, I just laid there with my hands like this because I didn't want my arms
oh no, roaches and stuff.
It's so bad. And then after living there for 3 days, I had a day off, and I spent the entire day cleaning it.
Really?
And I scrubbed, I mopped, I cleaned everything. I killed all the roaches with a slingshot. No, no, I had some bug bombs. I cleaned the whole place out, and it was all right. It was still a rundown trailer, but it was nice. And so I lived there while working 40 hours a week and doing cross country, and that was the hardest time I've ever been through. And although I would never, if I was offered to relive that moment, I would say no. I would never relive that.
Never.
But I would never go back and say that I didn't want to do it. That I would never go back and take it away from my past.
Okay.
Because that built me so much into who I am now, and now I appreciate so much living in the house that I live in now. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I just understand money so much better. And I became a really good runner. I got an injury my senior year on my foot because I was basically. The injury, truthfully, came from working so much because I had to wear dress shoes in my work.
Oh, okay.
And they were destroying my feet. And then I would go out of that, and I'd go run, and then I'd go to sleep, and then I'd wake up and go to practice.
Wouldn't get enough sleep, too.
Oh, I wouldn't sleep at all.
You need so much rest on that kind of schedule, working that much and running that much.
And I had 6 or 7 hours if I'm lucky.
That's,
And I didn't have any free time. I couldn't do anything really. But I would work Monday through Friday. I would just work 40-hour weeks. I would work 8-hour shifts every single day. And it was
goodness gracious.
It was crazy. But yeah, and then once I moved up here and got this place, I remember a week before I moved here, I was like, oh my gosh, just one more week. And I would count down the days to be I'll be out at this dump, and I'll be at Park West, and I'll be Park West, yes, Park West. And I was looking forward to moving here so much because it was this was my light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Because this is a whole new beginning. I have all this money saved up. I'm on the cross country team. I'm doing this. This is where my life goes. And I I decided to go to A&M because I know they're really good for like teachers and stuff. And I thought I wanted to be a teacher/coach because I was like, that's a stable job that won't like put me in the position that I ended up being like as a kid.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want my kids to be in the same position. So I was like, yeah, this has to be the way. And I realized like the more I look into it, like I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to be a coach. Like I'd love to coach as a side thing for free, but I would never like want to do it for a school because then I have to teach and everything. It's just so crazy.
I think I remember you told me one time like you always told yourself you wanted that, but that was just like because you knew it was stable and you didn't like really. That's not what you wanted to love to do, like wake up and do every day.
Exactly. As a kid, like I knew I could achieve greatness, but like after going through all that, it put me into a spot where like greatness is average, and then now I'm living average, and I know I can achieve greatness.
Yeah.
So I don't know what would I say like from my situation. I'd say no matter like how terrible things get, no matter how hard things get, like it's typical. Everybody says this, but like there is another side, and like if you be the very best that you can be, like you're gonna get out of your situation. And also, I would say don't spend money on anything. I'd say save your money. Don't get a girlfriend who requires a lot of money. That's a big one.
Huge. I'm
Respect
taking that
a lot of
advice.
women. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, for the first week of getting a girlfriend, don't spend a single dollar on her and see if she
how
still
it
wants to be
goes.
your girlfriend. Yeah.
Down, dude. I remember like it's so crazy that you say like 1 week before moving to Park West. 'Cause I never like put that together, but like I remember when we met you at Alicia's place.
Yeah.
That was literally the same time frame. That's crazy because I remember you were like so strict with money. This man took us to Sam's Club, and we literally only bought like eggs in bulk and bread in bulk and like ramen. Yeah, and that's all we were allowed to get.
I was like, no, we don't need that, guys. No, we're good.
Yeah.
And then now I have a better understanding. Like I'm actually making money from my company and all this stuff. Oh yeah, I started a company.
Yeah, so. I just wanted to like tie that together. So like, I mean, you can definitely talk about it. I love like what does Odyssey mean?
So I started this company called Odyssey, and then it's pretty much a logo on a super swaggy dad hat, which I love these hats. They're so perfect. They're like great for running, great for everything, pretty much.
Awesome.
But Odyssey to me means your Odyssey is the story that tells where you like how you got to where you are. So it's not necessarily like I'm here today, but the fact that I'm here is so much stronger than what you might know if you like.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, like
I would never guess that of you. Like you had this like huge,
like you never would have guessed
such a hard path.
I lived on my own when I was 17, like working like a man.
Yeah,
and going to school.
Yeah, it's really a journey, you know.
So it's like it's just to me it represents like the whole like story of where you came from, like a bad situation, or maybe you came from an average situation, you turned it into a great situation, or it doesn't really matter, just anything. It's like your story and how you want to tell it, you know. So that's what the hat represents to me, and that's why I started this company. I'll definitely get this tattooed on my body someday because it's more than just like a logo. It's more of like for me, it's so personal, you know?
Yeah, it represents so much. And I feel like so many people can relate to it.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why like it's awesome. Like I love wearing this hat around because like if I have that logo on me, I just think like, okay, that's my Odyssey. Like I can just think back like, all right, I remember what I did. I remember how I got here.
Oh, yeah.
And you can just like translate it so much.
And like if eventually I'm gonna bump into people wearing these hats, and I'm gonna be like, dude, tell me what is
Yeah,
yours. Like I want to hear yours, you know.
Oh my gosh, that's
crazy.
so awesome.
Yeah, I'm super stoked to finally run into somebody. So if you want to get one, odysseycaps.com.
Yeah, there'll be a link in. I don't know if there's descriptions on Patreon, but
you just go to odysseycaps.com.
odysseycaps.com, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's so fascinating. Like everyone has a different background. Everyone has like different difficulties, as if it was like a video game or something.
Yeah, and even like people like what I've come to know is like even I came from having no money, so people who came from a lot of money also still have like crazy odysseys that you never would know. Like you'd be like, oh, well, you came from a lot of money, you had a really easy life, but in reality they like went through all these like they went from like their friend passing away or something.
Yeah.
Or, like some insane, just crazy story that you would never guess. Like they recovered from a crazy injury or something.
Yeah.
Just there's so much more to like a people than where they are. It's like how they got there.
Yeah, you just really never know. And I don't know, that's what's so cool about it.
I'm super stoked.
But yeah, that was a pretty good one. I mean, it was our first podcast. It wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
It was. I think
eventually it'll get better.
It'll get better for sure. But I just really think it's cool if you guys like know exactly who we are. And I mean, obviously, you have a lot better understanding now, but it's not like perfect. But it's, it's so much better than what you would have guessed. Like just watching our YouTube videos. I mean, I personally would never guess, like just watching yours, like who you are and like what you've been through.
That's true.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, I really appreciate you guys like tuning in. If you're still listening, you're the freaking best.
Oh yeah, you guys are the greatest people ever.
Oh my gosh, honestly, like, I mean, I have so much in store for you guys. I'm so stoked, and I hope you enjoy this first podcast. I think the Instagram for Casually Concerned is going to be just Casually Concerned Podcast, which is super long. I'm working on getting just CC Podcast, but the guys are responding super slow. So for now, it's going to be that.
Casually Concerned Podcast.
And I'm going to post little like tidbits of that on like our podcast on Instagram, just for other people to see. And also, you can DM me on that account and like let me know what you thought about the podcast.
Absolutely.
And so much easier to respond on that account because right now my personal, I just get a lot of DMs.
Oh, yeah.
So you're pretty much guaranteed. Like if you DM me on that, I'll follow you back, and we can just like talk back and forth.
For sure.
So
tell your friends, definitely.
yeah, tell your friends. Get the word out of here. And getting a phone call. All right.
Nice.
So yeah, we're just gonna wrap this up real quick. Battery's about to die. Everything's going downhill right now. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out Aussie Caps. Get your freaking new Neptune bottles.
Oh my gosh.
Stainless steel.
This is the cleanest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is so beautiful.
Freaking dope. Glossy white, stainless steel. Go check them out. Brand new on Amazon. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Running is going to be the next podcast.
That's a good one.
With Ryan Yarrow.
Ooh.
1459 5K guy. Just saying.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Tell your friends about it. I love you guys so much. Peace.
Peace. Respect women. That was good.
That was freaking awesome. Oh, I need to come more.